Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Thursday. It's John Brewer here. I'm actually at the William Ravis offices right now. If you're looking for real estate, give me a call. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the origins of 86. So I had a fun little time on my personal page. If you're not over there, you can definitely like me up. So we were talking about like what are some I heard is something that restaurant people use, which is how you acknowledge when a chef gives you an order. They'll give you an order, you say heard. That way they understand that you heard what they said. So if that salad's not ready, they know who to blame. So that's one of the words 86, which means you're out of it, or you're kicked out, or we don't have any more. And then the other one I had was corner, which when you're coming around the corner, if you've got full plates or you've got, you're coming in or out and you're going around the blind corner, you usually shout corner. That way, the person, if there's someone coming from the other side, you don't do the whole Three Stooges kind of thing where everybody bumps into each other and plates go flying, which usually happens at least once or twice in your serving career, if you're anything like me. I told everybody the story one time about me when I dropped the whole big tray. I had a whole bunch of stuff stacked up. One plate fell off the back. I started going forward right into a crowd, flipped the plate backwards, came this way, and then turned around that way and spiked the whole thing right into the ground and walked away. Anyway, so we came up with some interesting words. 86, heard, behind, corner, fire, deuce, foretop, runner, I need hands, FIFO, which became a bit of a argument there because a lot of people use that term. FIFO meaning first in, first out. Covers, which means cover. So how many dinners did you do? We did 58 covers. Dupes, which I don't think are around anymore. Dupes used to be when we used to use the handwritten tickets with the little blue carbon paper in the middle. You would write that down. So you had the original that you would present to the customer, and then you had the dupes, which you used for ordering. So you would put that up on the rail. The rail is another one that people use. All day. So if you're putting together an order, the term all day would tell somebody. So if you're short an order of fries, a steak, and a fish, you would say, I need a steak, a fish, and fries. And the guy would say, is that all day? So, yeah, all day, all day. That's everything I need to get everything where we need to be. In the weeds, of course, is a food service hospitality term. In the weeds means you're just, yeah, it's exactly what it feels like. So if you've got too many tables, if you've got too many orders going on, you just feel like you're stuck in the weeds. You just can't get out. You're stuck. Every time you move, you just kind of feel like you're getting dragged down further. On the fly. So if you're short at dinner or you're short something, you would say, hey, I need a steak on the fly, which means you need it right away. And then the other one was what's on the books. So when someone came in, you'd usually say to your hostess, all right, what do we have on the books? And they'd say, oh, we have 6 top, 4 top. We've got about 85 on the books. So those are pretty cool. Anyway, I want to get back to 86 because 86, I started to look it up. And the more I started to look up the word 86, the more I realized nobody knows. Nobody knows where the term 86 came from. So we know what it means. The word 86 means refuse to serve. It means to get rid of. It means to throw out. It means we're out of it. A lot of people seem to think it comes from Chumley's. And if you ever lived in New York, which I had the fortunate experience of living in New York, Chumley's was a very famous speakeasy bar down in the West Village that we used to go to a lot. It was a great place to go to before and after a theater. A lot of great restaurants down there, a lot of great theaters, a lot of great music venues. Really just a lot of stuff. The Village Vanguard was down there. Just amazing blues, amazing jazz. And there was this bar called Chumley's. Now, Chumley's had a number of different exits. And evidently, one of theirs, and the address of Chumley's was called 86 Bedford Street. And the story goes that when the cops, which were usually on the take with the bars during Prohibition, especially in New York City, they would call the bar and they would say to 86 everybody. So everybody would shoot out of the 86 door. So there were a number of different doors. There was one on Pamela Court. That's the one we used to go into, which was, it's a great bar. If you're ever in New York, you got to check it out. There's actually apartments on either side. So you come down this little atrium, this little courtyard, and that's where you go in, Pamela Court. You go in there, but then there's another door on 86 Bedford, and that was what they originally said. That seems to be the story that comes up the most. Basically, the cops would call, the bartender would answer the phone, he'd say 86 everybody, and everybody would shoot out of the 86 door while the cops came in through the Pamela Court door and basically found an empty bar. So that was during Prohibition, New York City. It's funny, a lot of these have to do with New York, a lot of these definitions that come up. One of the other things they said about 86 was it comes from the term because a grave is 8 feet by 6 feet. If you ever seen a grave, and I'm not sure about this, if anybody's a taxidermist or a funeral director, let me know. But 8 feet by 6 feet is the side of a grave. So obviously you're not here anymore, you're out. Also, someone said it is the dimensions on a door, which kind of seems a little off, 8 feet by 6 feet. But those are the other things, like you're out the door, kick that guy out, 86 him, kick him out the 8 by 6 foot door, basically. Another idea was people said it came from 86 ladles of soup. So back in the soup kitchen days when folks were needing to get fed, they said that basically 85 ladles of soup is what came from a batch of soup. So the 86th person would be SOL, basically, shit out of luck. So they basically, that's another, basically a theory of where 86 came from. Another one, actually a lot of military terms have been used for 86. So the Americans during the Korean War had an F-86 fighter jet. So when an enemy was shot down, they would say that that guy was 86th. So that's another where it came from. Also, we've got some stems from alcohol. Alcohol that was normally served back in the Wild Wild West days was 100 proof. So if you were getting a little schnockered, what they say is 86 that guy, which means knock them down from 100 proof to the 86 proof. There was also a thing called Old 86 shaving powder back in the day. And what a lot of these bartenders would do, if you were getting to be a little unruly behind the bar, they didn't like your personality, they'd put a pinch of this Old 86 shaving cream in your drink, and it would taste disgusting, and they were hoping you would basically leave after that. Another idea that came up, or another theory that came up, is it comes from the Empire State Building. So the 86th floor of the Empire State Building actually has a deck. And the term 86 seems to become around 1920s, 1930s. As we know, there was a depression. So a lot of people were jumping off of the 86th floor of the Empire State Building. Another New York thing, New York Local Code 86, 86 supposedly made it a crime for bartenders to serve drunken patrons. So, you know, a bartender would look at a guy and say, hey, sorry, Bob, but you're 86th, buddy. Also, some people say it came from a station in New York, the L train, that terminated at 86th Street, and that's where the drunks were kicked off. So basically, 86th Street Station is where they would kick off all the drunks. Someone also said the 86th precinct in New York City was not a very desirable place for cops to go. So if you were a bad cop or you weren't doing your job right, the way they would they threaten you is, hey, buddy, you don't straighten your act out, we're going to 86 you, which means we're going to send you to the 86th precinct. Another theory is that Delmonico's Steak House in New York City, their 86th item was the steak. And so that was one of the most frequent things that they were out of. So eventually they just started to use the term 86 for anything that they were out of. There's also another theory that says filmmakers came up with the term 86 because 85 is the darkest light filter that they can use. So if you use 86, it's totally pitch black, it's out, you can't see anything. And then the last one was 86 inches is the length of a grave. So if someone asks you what 86 means and they tell you they know or if you ask somebody what the word 86 means and they tell you they know exactly what it means, don't believe them, because there's probably about 86 different definitions of what it means. Anyway, I hope that was entertaining. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know where you're frequenting all your favorite restaurants this week, where you're going to go to, take photos when you're out, supporting your local mom and pop businesses. The Passport is still up, $29.95, gets you 1 year of 10% off at all your favorite restaurants. We've got 3 more restaurants that are coming on board. We just need to finalize the paperwork on them. We'll have those up for your dining and dancing pleasure. We're also going to start a referral program. Anybody who refers 5 members is going to get a gift. We are creating those gifts right now. We're going to have t-shirts. We're going to do coffee mugs. We're going to do all kinds of fun stuff to reward you, our members, for signing up new people. Anyway, God bless. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Support your local restaurants, and we will see you soon. Take care now.